Hello and welcome to my studio journal. Now back in 2022, I started to redesign my home studio, shifting from software to hardware for the first time. What began as a few videos for some curious students soon became an ongoing unfiltered record. We've got all these cords running along the wall at the bottom, which doesn't make the place look any tidier. You see, this situation is much worse because the desk is a lot more narrow. I mean, we have the keyboard tray that's right here, and we don't have much space before we get to a tray that's all messed up. So once again, I'm going to totally take apart this desk, and we're going to see if we can maybe straighten out some of this mess and make it look a little bit better. Here we start again with this desk all stripped down. Okay, now that desk is finished, and you can see there's no cords down by the baseboard except for over on that side. That's because that cord that's going up on top of the bookshelf is an HDMI cable, and I wanted to still keep it away from the audio cables because I wasn't sure what the result would be of that. But I also did something a little different. If I look underneath the desk here, there's this, I found this cord hider. It's just a plastic cord hider that I attached to each one of the monitor stands, going straight across, and that's where I'm running all the audio. And I did exactly the same thing on this side too, with all the audio. And yeah, you can see I mounted the power brick to the wall instead, so that made it a little bit cleaner when you look back in here. Because back there it was a little bit tricky, and we had a whole bunch of, well, power cables back in here, and that just made things really difficult to manage. But anyhow, I'm really happy that this turned out much better than even what I thought. It feels much more organized and looks much more organized underneath the desks. So this is back to where we started again, this problem wall. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing with it. I think the first thing is to get the drum set out of there again and work on that back wall, tidying everything up power-wise. And then that way I can make an idea of where I'm going to be running the power and also where I'm going to be running the audio. Now I've separated the power and the audio on the piano wall, on the main desk, and on the small production desk. Now I'm going to try and tackle this wall. How far we get tonight, I don't know. I'm hoping that we get it all put back together again, but whether that actually is going to happen, I don't know. I thought I was done this desk, but actually I'm not yet. I have to figure out how I'm going to do this audio interface thing. I forgot. I got to put this thing out for the Machine Plus, right? First off, it could only reach so far. I was using this USB cord with an extension, and I found this longer USB cord. So now I can use this, which means I'll be able to drag it over to here. But do I want it over there? It depends on where this one. This one goes. Well, I think it's time that we have to open it up so I can see exactly where I'm going to be putting it on this main mixing desk area. Well, this is the Volt 476 USB audio interface from Universal Audio. We're going to take a look at what's inside. I believe this is a new one. This is a rental because it's too rich for my blood for right now. So we'll see if it works in the studio then. Well, of course, it'll be a permanent resident here and all that. So let's take a look kind of what's inside here. Oop, I think I just flipped it upside down. Ooh, look at that. It's kind of a nice box, eh? So, all right. And then, how's it? Oh, it flips open. Okay. Man, they really did a nice job on packaging this thing. So, yike. Katunk. Well, that's not the first thing I want to do with it, but anyhow, so that is the actual audio interface itself, which is, I mean, that's a nice feeling, you know, audio interface. So it even has like meters up here and things like this. So, okay, so you get that, and then I'm hoping the rest of the stuff is in here, because if that's not the case, then I got some other issues with trying to connect things. So let's take a look. So first off, there's the the USB cable. Okay, and I needed to make sure when I saw it was USB-C, well, I needed to actually go to a cable like this. I think they call that an A. I don't even know anymore. So there is that. There is multiple, it looks like, ends to the power adapter. And here is the power adapter. Well, it's already set for where we are anyhow. So there we go. So this actually will have to plug in. That means I'm going to have to pop under the desk again, plug that in. What's good about this is it has two inputs in the front. It also has a couple of inputs in the back here as well, inputs 3 and 4. And as far as this is the main thing that I needed to have a bunch of line outs and a set going to the monitors. Now this is the bonus right here. This is actually really good because I had an issue before where I was trying to figure out how do I connect my Modi X, my Yamaha Modi X to the computer at the same time when it's connected to everything else, like the Akai Force. Well, what happens is I'm going to run the Modi X actual MIDI cables into the back of this. So my hope is when I go into the Modi X itself and switch it from the USB to actually the MIDI chords, that then it's going to be able to take over the computer. So I don't have to disconnect anything from the Modi X. I can just go. But now we have to find out where this is going to go on the main desk here in order to figure out how to set up everything else. Okay, so this desk is getting closer to getting set up. So I got the headset going over there. I put the Scarlett, if I can get the Scarlett over to here with that extra long cord, then that means the cords now will reach to the patch bay, which they didn't before. And I'm going to put the new interface right there if I can. Now the problem is because I'm kind of sitting over in this area here and I have to look over there, it's kind of hard to see the controls. So what I did is I made a goofy little stand here, workmanship at its absolute highest. All it is, once again, is a little bit of a floorboard thing. What is a 1x2 put behind it? All that's going to do is just angle this a little bit so I can see it a little bit better. And I cut it so you can't even see it underneath there. So anyhow, that's, I think, what we're going to have now. The headset with everything going across here, the two audio interfaces on this side, because once again, that also means I can get shorter cords instead of buying 30-foot cords to go to the compressor, which is going to be around here. From the audio interface there, I don't have to worry about it that much. I can get shorter cords. I think that this is how everything's going to get set up. So now, the next thing is to get to tackling this wall. We're back to having a little bit of a mess in here again. But other than that, I've finished now the lights. Rewiring the lights, I should say. So if you notice, there's nothing on the floor anymore, which is good. I also moved the mixing board down underneath the patch bay so we don't have any power and audio crossing too much there. And I'm going to try that bar idea under here, just like I did under the two desks. Now the thing is, this system has a lot of wireless receivers. So now instead, I put them way up top on the top shelf. I'll calm them down, I'll wind them up a little bit better so you can't see them as well. But for right now, that's just in case I need to get to them again. But that's it. So the whole thing, now just, we need to route the audio in there and get some of the synthesizers in there and see what happens. Okay, well, such ends day 12. So I got all the receivers up there for the lights in the corner. I've got everything here hooked up. I'm running audio on this side of the pillar, which goes in, and if we take a look in the patch bay, we notice that there's a great big separation between anything that's power up top here and anything that's in the patch bay down the bottom. Now it's running across this thing. Now I'm going to tidy that up. That looks horrible right now. I'll be surprised if it's still standing by tomorrow. That bar right there is going to be holding all of the cords across the wall. It means I don't have anything on the floor except for once I put the rest of the drum set, that'll be fine. And then there's all the rest of the cords I have to hook up to go carry on around the rest of the room. But at least right now, that's as far as I can get. All the power is running underneath the shelf right there with the the keyboard on it. On the other side is the same way. The power is running on the far side so that the audio will run down this pillar right here. So anyhow, I've got everything as separated as much as I can possibly have it separated. If this works, it'll be great. If it doesn't, well, too bad. That's as good as it's going to get. And I probably, because I have this great big bar of cords going along the bottom there, I probably got this great big antenna array going. So who knows, it'll probably be worse than what it was before. But either way, that's kind of what we got done. So I'm quite happy with the way this has turned out so far. Right now it is around 2:49, basically 3 in the morning. So that's it. I am done for tonight. Hopefully finish up a lot more of this tomorrow. If you'd like to follow the full journey, check out my online studio journal linked in the description. Until next time, I'm just a music teacher having fun. Catch you on the next one.